I'm Sophie Ristelhueber. I am a French woman with a German name here in Gothenburg, and so happy that we are preparing the reception of this wonderful award. So when I received this phone call from Sweden, which the number I recognize, and I had this young gentleman on the phone, and then he explained what was going on, that it was a secret, and so then I trust it was true, and I was at the same time very pleased, of course, very honored, because I know this is the biggest prize in photography. But at the same time, I am not really a photographer. Now it's what I produce is 90% is photography. For Beirut, I knew I wanted to do something about modern architecture in ruins. So it's back to 82. We have since then many civil wars and cities in ruins. And so I didn't know how it was. Like, personally, in the 80s, I had no TV, and what you could read in the press was not saying if the whole city was broken down or not. So I came there, I don't know, at random, Every day I would walk a little more and see what happened. There was a lot. I think since now 45 years, I have been working, even 50. It's my main concern is, in French, we say la terre, which means earth, but the ground, the soil, the field. All these names are in French under terre. And most of the time I get rid of the human person. It's just the earth, but what we have been doing on it. One good example of my work would be WB. So it's something that I was on the field in 2003 and 2004. It's a good example because it all started by an image that I took in a magazine, press magazine, of settlements on a hill around Jerusalem. And I always, in my head, the question, how in my work could I show this separation of two countries, which is more in everyday life, of course, in politics, in the law, how they manage on this very tiny land, which is the West Bank. So I had this in my head for years before I decided, okay, I'm going there and see what I can do. So it's very example because it comes always from a concept I have from outside, and I don't know what I will meet and how I can represent this. So I went to Jerusalem. I made one stay at the fall of 2003. I went all around scouting, and I found a solution that I wanted to photograph the cuts in the road that these cuts were made by the Israeli army, but there was nothing military around, no weapons, no guns, It was very bucolic. They took stones out of the landscape just to cross the road or cut the road. So it could be secondary roads or main roads like this. In this year, 2005, when I was installing the work at the MAMCO in Geneva, happened in the current events, the explosion in Beirut that killed the former prime minister, Mr. Hariri. And there was a crater in the ground. Okay, I've seen that like everybody else, except for me, so it goes somewhere in my brain and I cannot get rid of it. And I decided, okay, I'm going to do my new work will be about craters that open up in the roads after a suicide attack. And those craters can be really small, like this table, and kill 40%. It's out of proportion. And also the other idea was, where is going the rubbles? because you see the crater and it's empty, but there's nothing around it. So it's the idea of the earth swallowing up itself that came to me. Being able to make a piece of art, not piece of art, make a work about something that concerns me a lot, helped me to live, to go on. So I think the first benefitor, it's me. And then the more I went on, the more I exhibited or make books, people react saying it's so great. I understand what you're talking about. What is this about? So you see, you're not working in your little corner and nobody like it or no. It's a sort of group of people understanding what you're doing, and it's nice. I don't know if you remember, but at that time, the very romantic names given to this operation, it's a desert storm and another wave of operation after were very, it's too much for what is war? It's a fact. And what I saw were facts done by the war, all these patterns. So I decided to have this very short name. And of course, it's Fait by Sophie, because I think it's interesting because I came I don't know, maybe 2,000 journalists before me. So they saw all that. And no one decided it was going to be something to do. Very strange. And it's comforting that art is bringing something. I think it's because I'm coming from literature that I like so much the small books. And it's in a family home. I photograph details of furniture, carpet. And of course, it's in a way, it's a sort of self-portrait. So for the cover of, so I designed the small book, and for the cover of it, I put a text from Tristram Shandy, a British writer from the 18th century, and the text is very nice. He says, if you want to understand someone, you sit in a chair, and it's like through the window of a bee house, you observe what's inside. It comes often in my books, a relationship with the words or the text. Mm. When I see students or young people, just starting what will maybe become a career, I always tell them that they should trust in their project, in what they are doing. Because for me, I never thought when I was doing Beirut, it's like my husband always said, it's a necessity so that I don't get crazy. I have to do it. And then we'll see what happens. So each time it's a little stone on the pathway. And when years come, you turn and you see, yes, I've been doing really something and it makes sense. But of course, when you start and when you are doing it, you will never have any insurance that it's going to make sense. And so you have to trust yourself and your necessity.